A stress pattern refers to the emphasis that is given to a specific syllable in a given word during pronunciation. There are different kinds of words based on syllabification. They are monosyllabic words, words that contain one syllable, bisyllabic words, words that contain two syllables, and polysyllabic words, words that contain three or more syllables. Some rules that can guide stress patterns in English language are: 1. All monosyllabic words are stressed when they are pronounced in isolation. 2. For bisyllabic words, if the word is a noun, the stress usually falls on the first syllable. Examples: present, folder, bottle, etc. But if it is a verb, the stress usually falls on the second syllable. Examples: import, contend, reject, begin, present, etc. Now for polysyllabic words, if the word ends with the suffix ion or ic or ive, the stress is going to fall on the second to the last syllable. Examples: introduction, words that end with ion usually have their stress on the second to the last syllable. Introduction, commission, injection, pronunciation, communication, and so on. Words that end with IVE also have their stress on the second to the last syllable. Possessive, adhesive, cohesive, responsive, impressive. Words that end with IC have their stress on the second to the last syllable, and they are iconic, historic, dynamic, etc. Polysyllabic words of this kind usually have their stress on the second to the last syllable. Now, for words that end with the suffix ity or eous or cial, the stress always falls on the syllable before this suffix. Examples: beneficial, the stress falls on fee, which is the syllable before show. Beneficial, commercial, financial, artificial, etc. For those that end with ity, we have reality, authority, punctuality, accountability, etc. And now for those that end with eous, we have simultaneous, outrageous, spontaneous, etc. For syllables that end with ial or ual, the stress usually falls on the second to the last syllable. Examples are industrial, editorial, presidential, material, intellectual, spiritual, individual, conceptual, etc. Now let's look at words that end with the suffix cy, ty, gy, or al. The stress in words that end with any of these suffixes will fall on the third to the last syllable. Technically, this is called antepenultimate syllable. The second to the last is called penultimate syllable. The third to the last syllable is called antepenultimate syllable. So the stress is going to fall on the antepenultimate syllable. Examples are democracy, the third to the last syllable. Pharmacy, certainty, philosophy, choreography, photography, psychology, biology, technology, critical, logical, technical, etc. You have to study these rules to be able to determine what syllable in a given word deserves stress.